All right, here we go. Another one in the books. Good weekend of racing.
Fantastic weekend of racing. Got two Group 1s in Sydney and in Melbourne. Look, the weather down there is looking pretty good. Got some wild weather up here in Queensland. Lucky there's no Group 1s up here.
Shows our commitment to the cause.
It really does. You know, we're battening down the hatches as we speak, drifters. But look, if you were stuck in a cyclone, hopefully safely, right?
Yes.
Got everything you need at home. What would you do to pass the time?
I would open up my Ned's app and I would see what's going on at Flemington and at Randwick. Might even check the profiles to see what I know my esteemed colleague here would be betting on and probably do something different.
No, fair enough. I think as well, you know, if you're spending a lot of time on the couch, we don't really often talk about it on this podcast, but rugby league, AFL.
Oh, yeah.
You can do a lot of stuff with those great games with the good people at Ned's. Plenty to be excited about.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
But what is gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
I need to ask you a question. Be curious, drifters.
Allegron's won the Brisbane Cup, but it's all Antino. Blake Shin, take a bow. Barraquil, Benny Allen hasn't moved.
Broadside in Bog, won the Golden Rose.
Pride of Jenny, trying to find the reserves at the 100. She's 3 in front of Mr. Brightside. It's all too late. Pride of Jenny has run them into the night. Switzerland, the big winner by 2.5 Bellatrix Star.
He's down, Jolly Star. She is a star in the making. Jolly Star bolts in.
It's all Isthmus. She's very smart and fast.
Bid on. But before any of the drama, I just wanted to share something that I've been doing of late. And that's been listening to a lot of Queen.
That's unexpected. What's the number one banger?
For me, Somebody to Love. Love that track. Great track. But tell you what, their catalogue is massive, mate.
Substantial. Prolific songwriters. All of them. Not just Freddie.
Only band in history for all the members of the band to write a number one song.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
That's
A hell of a stat.
that is a hell of a start.
For a stat-heavy sport, it's a stat-heavy start.
Really is. I myself wouldn't really call myself a Queen guy. Not that I dislike them, but just never.
Freddie Mercury, one of the greats.
Yeah, strong mustache and a full set of teeth,
Substantial.
a mouthful of teeth,
Like a horse.
like a horse. I can see why you like them. Somebody to Love is a banger though.
Yeah.
I just
Bohemian Rhapsody is 50 years old, that track.
50.
50 years old.
Is this real life?
I think that was the second last track played at our wedding last year.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah. If I'm thinking old school music, like what's my go-to, I'm probably more of a, I love like an America, you know, Sister Golden Hair, Ventura Highway, Johnny Denver. But if we're talking like classic rock, hard to say for me. Back from that era. I enjoyed Kiss at the AFL Grand Final,
They
not
were
last year, the
great.
year before. It was phenomenal.
They were very good. Katy Perry was good too.
She was good.
Yeah, compare that to, with all due respect, the Kid Leroy. Sorry, bruh.
More like Punk Leroy. Little punk.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've just been pounding Queen into the earth for the last 2 weeks. Watched Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, the dramatisation of Freddie Mercury's
You wouldn't
life.
say it's a biopic, would you?
No. Several holes in it, which I won't go into, but what they did nail was the adaptation of Live Aid.
Was that their first live concert for like years or something?
That's how they portrayed it in the film, but I believe they were touring for 6 to 12 months prior.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have never watched that movie, never will. Not my sort of style.
The Live Aid gig is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, oh.
Well, that's where it all came from.
Hey, oh.
Yeah. Freddie, one of the greats. Queen, one of the great bands.
Keep your eye out for Queen's
and Freddie's and Alfred's.
Yeah. Yeah, are you prepared for the cyclone to just rip through Brisbane? Because you're actually in a flood area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your wife would be just giving you half-hourly updates.
You know what? She all things considered, has been really good. So, drifters, if you've been living under, not even a rock, if you've been living under bloody Uluru, Brisbane is on the precipice of Cyclone Alfred, that we're going to call Freddie Mercury. Cyclone Freddie Mercury for the rest of the podcast. And due to strike like Thursday night, Friday morning.
Yeah.
Now, look, there's no Group 1s on in Queensland this weekend. Therefore, we won't be covering the Queensland card. I suspect that there's probably not going to be a Queensland card. We were supposed to have a runner today on the sunny coast, Kiana.
That is news to me.
Yeah, we were, yeah.
In real time.
Yep.
There you go.
But obviously that got canned. So, yeah, there's preparations underway. Look, we have water. We have battery packs.
Yep.
We have food that won't perish.
A Ned's app.
We have a Ned's app.
Yep.
And luckily, 5G technology still works when you don't have power.
Yeah.
So as long as you've got battery packs, drifters, you can punt. You can punt until your heart's content.
Yeah.
So I'm prepped. You guys prepped?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Just
Daddy vibes.
As you kind of saw, like zip tying stuff down and, cutting shade masks down from my house because we're due to renovate soon. So all that sort of stuff, man.
Good shit. Good shit. And you know what? Like, if I think about, the drifters are probably listening to this thinking, why are you guys recording a podcast when, a cyclone is imminent? It's like, well, we have priorities.
Yeah.
We have priorities to the people.
Yeah.
I think about, like, when Noah, if you've ever read the Bible, drifters, when Noah was tasked with, effectively saving every skerrick of life on the planet, when there was a mass flood and you had to load up 2 of every species onto the ark in order to survive the flood. If he had to pluck 2 podcasters to take with him, that's how much we dedicate our time and effort and livelihood to the craft, drifters. So, if you're enjoying this, whether you're watching us on YouTube, whether you're listening to wherever you get your podcast, just bear that in mind. Maybe leave a 5-star review and have a couple of positive comments.
We haven't done that call to action in a while. So, yeah, do that.
Yeah,
what he said.
Shout out to Cyclone Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, Cyclone Freddie.
Somebody to love.
So I think there will be a bit of residual rain going down to Sydney. Nothing too crazy, though. I think it's up to 5 mil consistently throughout the week. So I think there'll be some sort of give in the track.
Yeah, I sort of looked at it thinking we're going to have, at best, a juicy good 4.
Yeah.
Probably a soft 5.
Yeah.
And they'll probably water the track the day of.
Probably.
Or the day before.
Yeah, they're pretty good at that, Randwick. Rail is out 3 metres, the entire circuit, so keep that in mind. But I think, all things being equal, it should hopefully play pretty fair. Let's kick off with race 2, the Fireball Stakes, 1,100 metres listed for the 3-year-olds. Set weights and the penalties. Our girl Drifting's here, $6.50. And Yoshinobu. Good name.
Great name. I was looking at this race, and again, it's another one of those set weights and penalties. And I saw Drifting first and foremost at $7. I've backed Perspiration before when he actually. Don't know if it was when he beat Gatsby's or when he was racing at Mornington. Yeah, it was when he was racing at Mornington, and he's got to lug 58 kilos here first up, having not raced since the end of September. And I was like, you know what, this race could very well be in the too hard basket for your boy. So I was like, okay, well, I'm trying to find some value, and I couldn't really find any value either. Do you have any clarity for me?
Nah, not really. This race is very tough. Yoshinobu was. Like, I heard there's always, in every Coolmore stud, there's like one at an enormous price that people just continually like give a case to. He was the one last year, and he was beaten 14 lengths. So it's like, is he any good? I don't know.
It comes up $3.40 here with
I
the
know.
people, and it's, geez, that's awfully short.
It is. So I need a bit more time to kind of do my form here. Enriched is a colt that has a little bit of talent. I could potentially lean into him as well, but you know, he was beaten even further in the Coolmore. So I don't know. I need to kind of look into it a bit further. But there's so much other racing that we need to cover. Let's just keep going.
Yep.
The Riesling Stakes is race 3, 1,200 metres, Group 2 for the 2-year-old little fillies at set weights. Now, I remember you saying Belle Mercy's name a few weeks ago, where she got absolutely spanked by Baywatch.
Absolutely spanked.
Yeah. Where are you leaning here?
Well, based on that run, geez, she'd have to turn around pretty significantly.
$6.
Comes up here, $6, absolutely.
Yeah.
With these 2-year-olds, they could turn around their form, absolutely. But I'd be praying for more than $6 if I was wanting something to turn around so significantly.
Tongue tie first time suggests that she might have had some breathing issues.
Yeah, yes.
So if she turns them around, I could absolutely see her improving.
Absolutely.
Up to 6 lengths.
Look, she gets the nice draw, but I go back to Tempted. And yeah, look, Blue Diamond was sort of a bit far back, but that was one of those races where you pretty much wanted to be up on pace for the most part. And it's a sort of race where you probably came a little bit too soon for this filly. I like that she gets J-Mac. She's drawn wide in 11, but I think J-Mac again will just get her into a nice position, let her we'll stoke the fire a little bit, and could come up through the centre of the track at Randwick, which is probably where you want to be at this stage anyway, because the rail's out. So I think Tempted's probably the one to beat. She is short again, though.
Yeah, Tempted was the one that I found as well, but probably not really a race that I'm that interested in. Like, Belle Mercy, she's going back to her own sex here. Like she was in that Wotan race where Wotan finished third behind Baywatch. So, potential upside for her. And $6, I don't know, I could be tempted. But the Todman, 1,200 Group 2 for the Colts and Geldings for the 2-year-olds, set weights. We finally get to see North England back. He's a smart colt. So
he is a smart colt. This is probably the first 2-year-old race, even including the Blue Diamond. This is probably the first one where I'm like, okay, we're starting to see how these heavyweights match up against each other. You've got Wotan, you've got Bewatched. Never know how to say it. Baywatched. Aleppo Pine, who failed last start, but Peloton, who failed last start. But
Buffalo.
North England, Tentress. Buffalo. Tycoon Star, I think he's dual nommed. This is going to be a real pecking order sort of race.
So you're of the opinion that this group of 2-year-olds is better than the lot that we saw last weekend in Sydney.
I think if you put a few of these in that race, then I think they win. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I also think the winners out of those 2 races last week, whatever they were called, but obviously Within the Law and Rivellino, I think they're the sort of 2-year-olds where however the race rates or however it goes or whatever time they do, I think they're going to be competitive because they're beating who they can beat. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I think Within the Law had no right to win that race. She did. I think Rivellino sat off a sedate pace and was able to win as well. So I think if you increase the pressure, I still think those 2 are good horses.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think Rivellino will regress against this lot. I don't necessarily think the same of Within the Law against that group of fillies we just went through.
Yep.
So, by virtue, I think Within the Law is the number 1 seed for the fillies for mine.
Yep.
But the number 1 seed for the Colts and potentially Gelding is up for grabs.
Yep.
So I think we'll learn a lot after this.
Yep. Is there anything you're particularly keen on? Are you keen to take on Wotan?
Tell you what, Baywatch was pretty impressive.
I thought he was too.
Like 1,100 metres, was up on speed, but kind of spanked him.
Yep.
Last start, 2.5 lengths, and you're getting $6.
Yeah.
To find out.
Absolutely. I think Wotan D-Day, obviously. You know, I know he's a 2-year-old. He's only had a few starts, but gets J-Mac, draws a great gate. He's $2.20 here. Would not be shocked to see him win, but I think I'd rather take the $6, as you were just saying, and I'd rather take that than the $5.50 with North England.
Yeah.
That's how I'm seeing the race.
Yeah. North England, I think you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah. If he comes out and brains him, it's like, well, you're not going to see that price ever again.
No. And, you know, he's about that price in slipper markets now, I reckon. So it's like you can't even really have a bet on him in the slipper because if he runs into third or fourth, he's going to start $10.
Trials are trials, but he has been trialling super.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was doing that before his debut as well, where he ran behind King Kirk, who passed away.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know. I could have another little bet on Buffalo too. Into like top 4 markets or something.
41s.
Yeah. All right, the aspiration quality. The Moyston Cooper. 1,600 metres, Group 3 for the fillies and mares. Now, I didn't really know where to look here. I could, if it does come up a soft track, I could J-Mac on. I could probably bet on Hinged.
You probably could. Well, she finally got the chockies at the end of the last prep.
I know.
She just takes a like she gets to a mile here. She was first up over 1,300 metres last start. Yeah. She won over 2,000 metres last start. I think she's just a mare who just needs a lot of racing and just needs the perfect setup to get the win. And there's no way in hell that with 61 kilos and at $3.80, I'm diving in. No way in hell.
No.
I couldn't possibly. Tell you what, as far as Group 3's go,
tell you what, as far as Group 1's go in Melbourne, holy smokes.
Yeah, gee whiz.
It's a knockout up-and-coming mare. Only had the 4 stars. She was good as well. So she's probably the lighter raced option for you as well, but not really a race I'm that interested in. Now, the Challenge Stakes, 1,000 metres Group 2 first at Way for Age. This is an interesting little contest. So you have, I thought the top 3 in the market should be, and they are that way, are Marzu, I Am Me, and Kaimochi. Did you land on those, or are you going outside the obvious? You're going Shelby.
No.
I can't believe he's still going round.
I'm not going Shelby. I thought this was a tricky little race. But I'm looking for a 1,000-metre horse. I know Kaimochi, she finally got the Group 1. What did she resume over? Last time was 1,100 metres. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Apparently, she's been trialling the house down. Nash was on her. Nash was desperate to stay on her for the trials. I Am Me, that first up run in the Oakley Plate was just gross. So she does get J-Mac, gets Gate 2, stays at, goes back to 1,000 metres. So some question marks there.
You honestly couldn't have had a worse setup for her.
Yeah.
In that race.
No.
Like, it was literally the worst thing I've seen. Worst setup for a decent horse that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, should have been in the Lightning. So I look at Kalos and I think, okay, first up, he's got a pretty good record. A little bit of give in the track, that's fine. He's a 1,000-metre specialist, draws a nice gate. Zach Lloyd's on fire, and he's $9. Is he a genuine Group 2 horse? Probably not, but I reckon he can get these at a price.
Yeah. Last time, that surprised me. Last time he was in Sydney, he's raced in Sydney once in 3 years.
That's crazy.
So that was in the Galaxy last year.
That's crazy.
So that's Godolphin usually have their really good ones in Sydney.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I just think they go like, you're not up to it, bruh.
Unlucky Kalos.
So, but this is an elite field. He can absolutely win this. So I think you're justified there. I could have a bet on my old mate Marzu. I really could.
8.3 million prize money in the bank. You love to see it.
He's starting to show. He's getting long in the tooth, Mazu, but he's showing something from time to time. Like if it comes up good for, absolutely not. But I feel owed by Komochi big time because I picked her out in the yard in was that the Manikato or the Moya Stakes that we were there for?
Yeah, the Manikato.
I thought she looked sensational in the yard there. And then back to next start in the Empire Rose, and then she wins the next start. I was like, just, it sucks. But so I'm in between. I'm splitting hairs there, but I'm sure we can find a result. All right, the Randwick Guineas, 1,600 metres, Group 1, 3-year-old set weights. Broadsiding is into $1.60. Short, but he's probably deservedly so.
Yeah, I think he wins the race broadsiding. I don't want to dive into $1.60. The horse that I think could potentially turn the tables from last start is number 2, Swift Falcon. Geez, he rocketed home last start. Draws nicely here. And up to a mile absolutely suits him to a T. He's $4.20, so he's short enough, but I like the fact that he'll probably have a little bit of give out of the ground. He's won on a heavy. He's placed on a soft deck as well. He's got way too far back last start. So drawn next to broadsiding, if he can sort of get behind him, I think he's got the chance to turn the tables. But yeah, if the rain comes a little bit, geez, broadsiding is going to be incredibly hard to beat.
It was a nice return by broadsiding. Big time.
Perfect run in transit, but he brained him.
Yeah. And Swift Falcon, you'll remember, went around, I reckon, a drifting favourite in the Spring Champion. And after the race, the stable were like, oh, well, he clearly just doesn't run out 2,000 metres, which I'm yet to believe. But if that is the case, it's like grand final sort of stuff. That stable had been known to basically target this and then go into a Doncaster.
I don't know what price he'd be, but does he need to win this to get into a Doncaster?
What's his rating? 97.
He might need to.
500k in price. I don't know. These mile handicaps are thin these days.
True. They fall away pretty significantly.
Big time. So...
And he'd have, what, 50 kilos maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Let me have a look.
Celestial Legend had 49 and a half. And Celestial Legend won this. So you mustn't get penalised for a win with Guineas. What?
$11.
11
in a Doncaster.
Gee, that's short.
That's sickening. Especially because Lady Shenandoah shouldn't be there. Broadsiding, I doubt it. Maybe.
He's an interesting one because...
They've tried the 2000.
Yeah, but I also think... Do you know I reckon broadsiding will go if he wins this? I reckon he'll go to the George Ryder. Because... So, okay, but he beats these guys here. He could go to the Rosehill Guineas and beat his own section, absolutely. But, like, okay, so clearly, if he wins this, okay, clearly he's the best 3-year-old colt of his generation. What do you want to add to his stud CV?
Well, the Rosehill...
You want to add a weight for age Group 1 against older horses, wouldn't you?
Tried and tested Rosehill Guineas.
I know, but...
If a stable was to do it, I reckon it would be Godolphin, though.
Yeah.
Potentially. Well, what did they do with Animo?
Well, Animo, yeah, Rosehill Guineas, and then Queen Elizabeth.
Then he failed in a Queen Elizabeth. They'll go the low-hanging fruit. They always do.
Yeah.
$11 is... Whereas I think Swift Falcon is the most likely of this lot to go to a Doncaster. Potentially Aliana. But she'll probably... What do you reckon?
Well, what's her rating? 96 as well. I don't know.
She's got 800k in the kitty.
Okay. So Aliana... So... Well, we can talk about this later more, but we're just dissecting the Doncaster. Aliana, Autumn Glow, Lady Shenandoah, what's he do? Anyway, fascinated to find her here. I think you know, there's not an edge in this market, right? Like if I was drawing up my own market, there's no edge, but I think Swift Falcon can turn the tables. If he can sit a bit closer, it could be a case of, you know, Celestial Legend beat Militarized neck and neck last year. And and Militarized was the established 3-year-old colt who won as a 2-year-old. Like, that could be broadsiding this year, and Swift Falcon could be the Celestial Legend of this year. You know what I mean? Just spitballing a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you know I'd be shocked if he won? Bloody linebacker. I'd be shocked.
Oh, might have to resign if he wins. He won't, though. The Canterbury Stakes.
Who are you going to bet on?
Oh, yeah. Didn't really say that, did I? Yeah. Broadsiding $1.60. That doesn't really wet my whistle too much. I'm of a similar opinion of Swift Falcon.
Yep.
He was rattling home, but is that just the typical, he could run on a bit?
Yeah, could be.
I don't know. We'll see. J-Mac, Barrier 4, he's going to be
incredibly hard to beat.
It's going to be hard to beat. It's am I on a highway to nothing?
Yeah.
So, probably not a race I'm that interested to bet in. The Canterbury Stakes is 1,300 metre Group 1 weight for age level. One of the triplets is here, Pericles with K-Mac on. I don't think, from memory, Pericles can really draw a gate.
No, he never does.
Yeah. It's he has a pretty shitty strike rate. Now, interesting market here.
I reckon this is a good little race.
$4.60 for Switzerland, 56 kilos because this race is raced in March. So his weight for age advantage is virtually gone now. He still gets something. We get to see Militarized return. You can have him. Cheerwolf missed the run last week and he's here. It's a good field.
It's a cracking little race and a fascinating contest. Cheerwolf coming back to 1,300 metres. Here to shock. Is he prepared to go to the next step and win a Group 1 in Australia? Militarized comes back at Gelding. You got a triplet here, Pericles. Celestial Legend. I don't think he's interested in racing anymore based on his trials. And rightly so. Take him off to the breeding barn. I'd be shocked if he runs. I'd be shocked if he runs well here. He's not interested anymore, and I wouldn't be either. Sunshine in Paris resuming over 1,300 metres.
You know what is telling in that?
What?
That Kieran McAvoy isn't riding him.
Yeah, that is telling.
He's
riding Pericles.
He's riding Pericles.
That is telling.
I think the $23 is that is not enough.
End caps at an enormous price of 61. Sunshine in Paris, 1,300 metres first up. Interesting. Magic Time, Steffi Magnetica, interesting. And Switzerland, mate. This could very well be the best race of the autumn. Switzerland, fascinating that they're bringing him here instead of a Newmarket. So I look at that race, I'm they pulled the right rein. Lots of places to look. Am I wrong for thinking that Magic Time is a phenomenal bet here?
I think she's a good bet if she did that first up.
Yeah.
Egg all over my face.
Yeah.
I think she always improves into a
Absolutely
run.
She does.
And all she needs is a track with a little bit of give.
Yeah.
She's still very effective on good ground, but when it's a rock-hard deck, I think she doesn't show her best. So I think she finds the right conditions here. Barrier 6, Geordie Childs.
And for me, 1,300 metres is that's her to a T. 1,400 metres. She could be more dynamic at 13 than 14. She's won an all-aged on a bog deck. So, yeah, I'm keen on Magic Time. Switzerland,
he's your guy.
He's absolutely my guy. It's unlike Chris Waller to sort of change a prep, though. You know what I mean? Drawn a little bit awkwardly. 1,300 metres for the first time as well in a pretty hot race. J-Mac could just ride him an absolute peach. I think if I'm comparing Magic Time and Switzerland at the same price, for mine, I want to go the horse where she's super consistent. She's going to a good 4, soft 5. She'll love it. 1,300 metres, tick. Randwick, tick. First up performance, tick. For me, that's a better bet than Switzerland in this race. Happy to see him win.
Yeah. Interesting. You know who's an absolute bomb first up? And I'm hoping that it's not too wet. It's Sunshine in Paris. She was quite possibly one of the worst paraded horses I've ever seen at the start of the spring last year, and she still won. Beat Jolly Star.
Yeah, she's a bomb fresh.
And not many people could win a Darley sprint like she did. That was unbelievable. And yes, the J-Mac influence is there as well. But I'm willing to believe in Sunshine Paris again. I think her first up, she's just so dynamic, fresh.
She's absolutely.
And they basically took her virtually first up into the Everest, where she unfortunately just got too far back there. Speaking of Everest winners, where's Bella Nips? Have you heard anything about her?
Yeah, Kieran Maher came out and said she's fine, but they just want to... She was up for the whole of last year. They just want to give her an extended break, so she'll probably come back for us up in Queensland, so she can just R&P a little bit.
God bless her. So I think I will be going a Quinella with those two, but yeah, I got a feeling about NCAP too.
I think NCAP's a big price.
60 to 1. He can pop up in a race like this.
He's a massive nonny, but he's a really big price. So yeah, fascinating race. I'm keen to have a bet on Magic Time, but half this field wouldn't shock. I also don't see a lot of pace, and I think Magic Time's tactical enough with a good gate to probably... She would get the 1-1, honestly.
Yeah, she probably will.
Yeah.
That's very well said. All right, the Randwick City Stakes, 2,000 metre listed. We go from one of the best races of the autumn to this. Now, if the rain does come, there's a couple of good wet trackers here. Warmonger. Do you see the post during the week somewhere where Mick Price was saying if we were to pick one horse for the autumn, it's this one?
Yeah.
I want to see some sort of improvement.
Oh, God, he was dross first up.
Yeah, so... But he's 17 to 1, Warmonger, and he gets back onto not his Sydney leg, but his Queensland leg, where he won by 10 lengths. Could be the last time he was on that leg.
Very well could be.
I think he's 1 from 1 on that leg. So maybe he just is an elite horse on that leg. But if there's so many wet trackers here. Duke, Decessa up the top, Warmonger. Virtuous Circle is a good wet tracker, and he's an enormous price as well. And I'm sure there's others.
Yeah, there is. This is an absolute lottery, this race.
Yeah.
Absolute lottery. Duke Decessa was phenomenal first up, carrying 60 kilos over a mile in the JRA plate. And I just wonder if, he's got to lug the weight again. He has the hot Nash on, which is so fucking hot. Up to 2,000 metres, can lightning strike twice? Can he do it again, back to back? I don't know if I want to find out at that price. Warmonger's fascinating to me because he was great first up last prep. You might remember I think that was the Maccabi Diva. He ran third, and this guy's going to win a Caulfield Cup, and just came massively off the ball for the rest of the prep.
He did not.
That first up run, he showed absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing. But the stable, the way they're talking about him is. This guy's he's going to win a Sydney Cup. And it's okay, well, for mine, that sounds like bro is so dour. Incredibly dour.
Sydney Cup sort of stuff.
Absolutely. Sydney Cup sort of stuff. And I also look at his prep as a 3-year-old. Bro's gone, this is in one prep, 1,600 metres, 1,800 metres, as a 3-year-old, 2,000 metres, 2,500 metres, 2,400 metres. And that was the Queensland Derby romp. I think he's just an out-and-out stayer and needs a lot of racing to show his best. So I don't want to touch him until the Sydney Cup. So have a look at futures potentially, Drifters.
What I will
What's
say
the market doing?
Is this is the easiest race he's competed at as a 4-year-old. Easily. So it's he was going up against the elite at Maccabi Diva. I'm assuming Brightside or Jenny won that. And then, Caulfield Cup, just he broke through the gates, ran his race.
Yep.
I was looking through, obviously a handicap, so J-Mac doesn't really have too many options, but he's on asterisks for Chris Waller. To be fair, he probably can only ride the first 7 or 8 in the market, and he's obviously going to be on a Waller horse, but he has ridden for Athabascan from time to time as well, but I don't know. kinesiology? What do you reckon?
Sneezy Racing.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he was confident until he drew gate 15.
Yeah. He's improving.
He's improving, so he might just need one more, but like at $7, you could probably back him.
Yeah.
Our anchorage is probably too short, I think, at $4. He's been a winning machine, though, for Bjorn, but no, good luck to the source trying to find the winner in that race.
No, he'll find it. All right, let's finish off with the Winona Girl. Holy shit. 1,200 metre Group 3 for the mares. This is tough.
God.
But I'm keen on clear thinking.
I'm a believer.
I think she's got a lot of talent.
I'm a believer.
With all due respects to inhibitions, I think this girl is on the improve versus that girl. But they're on level weights again here, so
they are
interesting.
They are. The other one is Kundalini, who I was keen on last start, but she was lame. She was just wasn't good. So probably want to see her go around. So I'm a believer in clear thinking. $5 is a bet I'm willing to have.
Yeah, if I was to tip you into one out of an enormous price, Lekvart up the top for Joe. She's definitely not the worst, but she's a grey that actually doesn't like it wet. So depending on how it kind of falls there, she could be a play too, and she's $61. So if she wins, don't say I didn't tell you. All right, let's go to Flemington then. Race 2 is the Ottawa Stakes, 1,000 metres, Group 3 for the 2-year-old fillies. I'd be shocked if you had an opinion here. Shocked.
Oh, I think races like this, where it's not even the Group 3, probably the worst 2-year-olds going around. If it's a race down in Melbourne, I've found that the Hay stable,
they've been very good.
They just know where to place them. I feel like they're like, this thing ain't a Group 1 horse. Let's just go R&P, the lower level. So number 1, Gin Spirit, gate 13, love that down the straight. Raced twice in Adelaide for a couple of wins over 1,000 metres, and was in the Blue Diamond Prelude, where she was okay. She sort of got back a bit and ran on. So has Mark, love Mark down the straight. I feel like he gives him a peach a lot. So she's the favourite, $4.60. But Gin Spirit, I'm keen to have a play on her. Okay. But yeah, I'm sure that surprised you.
Yeah, no, that does, because I have zero opinions. Race 4 is the Shaftesbury Avenue handicap, 1,400 metres, Group 3. I thought Territory Express was a bet here. This horse has a lightning turn of foot if it jumps out of the gate, which he is known to kind of crawl out of them, Chautauqua-like from time to time. But he's been racing against horses like Gringotts, Pericles, Yellow Brick, Freedom Rally, here to shock. So I don't see any of those types of horses here. So I think Territory Express, nice big Flemington track for me. Suck run, hopefully from barrier 1.
Yeah. Geez, the favourite, Is It Me, has been up for an enormous amount of time.
Huge horse.
Big horse, yeah.
Enormous gelding, this thing.
Big horse. So maybe it just needs a lot of work and needs to be kept in work. But it's been uber consistent, this prep. I'm just keen to get it beat here. I thought Territory Express was absolutely a good shout. Also didn't mind our girl, Lady Jones. Resuming, he hasn't raced since she won on Cox Plate Day. She's a big price.
Where we tipped the card, by the way.
Yeah, where we tipped the card, by the way. She's a big price, but not a Flemington horse, which is the concern, but she is a good 1,400 metre horse. She's also got Weak Gutted Dog on.
He rode her on Cox Plate Day.
But you know me with these 1,400 metre Flemington races, they're just disgusting. So I backed Fancify last start. It was a little bit disappointing. Can bounce back.
Yeah, you and everyone else.
Yeah, so can bounce back, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right, the size produce is race 5, 1,400 metres. Not going to make it. You take over.
1,400 metres, size produce, Group 2, set weights. Is it for the Colts and the fillies? Let's have a quick look-see.
It's just for the 2-year-olds.
It's for the 2-year-olds, so Colts and fillies. Traffic Warden won this race last year.
He did.
Drifters, your boy was on. Jamie Mellum now gave him an absolute peach, and then he started 50s in the Golden Slipper. Ridiculous price.
Yeah, he ran fourth. When you had an each-way ticket, that hurt. But this race, I think this is the one that I think the VRC or Racing Victoria are kind of campaigning to get this upgraded. I think there's been some pretty smart horses that have won this race over the years. So, any firm opinions, any ones that really took your eye?
Well, Tycoon Star, as I said, has been dual nommed, but doesn't have a jockey here. So I'm assuming that it's probably going to race up in Sydney. But if it races here, then I think it'll be really hard to beat. Vin Rock, Matt Laurie, Mark Zara. I thought it was phenomenal debuting at Pakenham a couple of weeks ago. Just absolutely brained them. $5.50 here, so probably the one I'm keen to have a bet on. It's not good. I found Jai again. Number 13, Steel Trap as well. Comes out of that Gin Spirit race in Adelaide. Is $9, drawn well. So they're the two, but if Tycoon Star's here, I'll have a bet. If not, Vinrock.
Yeah, what he said. The Australia Cup Prelude is race 6, 2,000 metres, set weights penalties. Duke de Sessa is up the top here, so it'd be interesting to see where he actually lands. Middle Earth. Now, this is a horse that I believe you know some of the ownership of.
I do, and they have...
What's the word?
Oh, they have an incredibly high opinion of the horse. But they say that about pretty much all their imports before they start.
Do they?
Yeah.
Did they say that about Counter before he came over?
Yeah, they actually did. Which is ironic. But no, they are saying like all the work that it's doing, you know, all the data that the Kieran Markamp loves, it's ticking all those boxes. I'm keen to have a play on Middle Earth, particularly because we know where a lot of these things are at, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, are you going to have a bet on Young Werder? Are you going to have a bet on Gear Up?
No,
Berkshire Breeze?
Scary, bro. It has to be scary.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah, scary down the bottom. 53 kilos at 20-1. Barrier 2, doing it up the front. Chase me, catch me if you can sort of stuff. Tom Hanks, Leo DiCaprio.
He just probably needs another 2,000 metres on top of this. That's his only issue.
Yeah, but will he catch them napping? He might. Back to the scene of the crime where he nearly stole the Victoria Derby.
Decky Bates on.
He races well at Flemington.
He does.
Like, sure, he was beaten 10 lengths in the CSAs. That was at 1,400 metres. What did you expect he was going to do?
That would have been my single greatest moment on the podcast if he won the Derby.
Yeah.
But he didn't, though. He ran second.
Yeah, he ran well, though.
He ran super.
What was your futures ticket? Like 15s, he started 40. so was it your best moment? I don't know. But yeah, Middle Earth. Interesting. One of the most fascinating runs for the weekend. What's his target?
I believe a Tancred.
Interesting. Okay. All right, race 7, the Group 1, All-Star Mile. 7 runners. Can you believe it? Including Flying Trapeze and Rise at Dawn. Figure that out.
Yeah, there's only 7 All-Stars in the entirety of Australian racing. That's why they're here.
You've had your opinion about this race for so long.
Was I not right?
You've been proven so right. It just stinks, man.
You cannot have. There's no third divvy in a $2.5 million Group 1 weight for age race, mate.
NGE, not good enough. NGE,
not good enough. Would it be better as a set weights and penalties or a handicap?
Oh, we say this every year. Set weights penalties is the one, I reckon.
Yep.
Because you have your Doncaster. I don't want the Doncaster being taken away more than it already is.
Yep. So where have you landed?
I don't know, Tom Kitten. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in this race. Like, I don't think Another Wheel is miler, so you can. I need to see it from him.
Have him. He had the perfect run in transit.
He did. Mr. B is probably your most likely winner again, but, does Kitty Cat Tom win if he gets out clearer, arguably? Lighting for Tree Man is an interesting one. Yeah. His one run at Flemington, he absolutely brained him, but he did only beat Globe and ain't no deal done. You know what I mean? So it's like this is a significant step up. But Ethan Brown, he's kind of hot at the moment. So, yeah. A Tissue, obviously. Flemington, absolute specialist, but she needs about 3 runs to get into her prep too. So, I know if I was held at gunpoint again to have a bet, and I want to be outside the favourite, it'd be Tom Kitten.
Yeah. I think I find it interesting that Rise at Dawn's in the race. It'll roll forward, and I think
he had to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He won that race.
Yeah, winning your in-store stuff.
Yeah.
So how many? So Mr. Brightside would have been another wheel. Rise at Dawn. What is Flying Trapeze doing here? Like, how is this horse in the race? I don't get it. Like, he last raced at Doomben. What am I missing here? Some people are probably tapping ferociously at me. Unless he won like a ballot exam race like in the spring or something. That's the only thing I could think of.
Don't know.
He won the Padua College Handicap on the 2nd of November at Eagle Farm.
Huh?
Like, what is he actually doing here?
Don't know, mate.
Anyway.
Don't know. I think Brightside just puts him away comfortably. Yeah. And if he's black odds, then yeah. That for mine. Rise of Dawn will roll forward and Craig will take a sit just behind Rise of Dawn and just... I don't think there's... I'd actually like, as much as he's been a running joke on this podcast, Kitty Cat Tom, since forever, I would love to see him win, Kitty Cat Tom. I think it's going to be a similar setup where he's just going to have to launch from too far back. There is absolutely no pace in this race for mine. And who does that suit the most? Mr. Brightside?
Well, he took a bit of a sit. Oh, Hong Kong Huey was riding him. Oh, no, he wasn't. Sorry. Where was he? Spring Champion. Yeah, he was still in the second half of the field there too, with Adam Hippopotamus in the saddle. Interesting. I've had a look. I'm like, gee, has he been unlucky, Tommy? He's 10-horse field, unlucky in the Futurity, 20-horse Golden Eagle. You'd be shocked if you didn't have bad luck there. In the King Charles 11-horse field, he's just not good enough. In the Epsom, he ran super into second in 20-horse field. So this is the first time he's seen like a small field in a long time.
Yeah.
So
he's a big horse.
He is. Needs to get into his work. So, yeah. Good track specialist, and it's going to be a good track at Flemington this weekend. So
would love to see him win. I'm looking at the $2.45 for Brightside, and I think that's one of those $2.45 is where you put in your money, you wash it, and you bring it back out, and you're like, holy shit, this is double what I put in.
All right, what's the better bet then? Mr. B at $2.45 or Treasure the Moment at $1.75?
Treasure the Moment is a better bet because she is so much better than the mate.
She is very good.
I think, honestly, it could be her and at this stage, Lady Shenandoah.
So you put her above, like...
I think it's better than Aliana and Autumn Glow. Where's she at? Exactly. We haven't seen a race. She's been in the Quinella every single start. The way she put away that field, she rolled to the front, which I love because, How many front runners do we have in Australian racing at this level? Fucking none. And she's just so much better than him. And it stacked up like apparently on the ratings and on the clock and whatever. And that was over 1,400 metres.
She won on AFL Grand Final day when we were punting at the stadium.
Yep. Oh, how good. What a day. What a day.
It just was good from start to finish.
It really was. Fucking hell. So $1.75 here. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, mate, she could be one of those. She could be a Lady Shenandoah. She could start at like $1.40.
Yeah,
because the big punters are like, 75% on my spend sounds good.
Yeah,
yeah. She'll brain this field.
Interesting. All right. Now the Newmarket. 1,200 metres, Group 1, handicap. So you're saying that the Canterbury Stakes was one of the best races, if not the best race of the autumn. Where's this land? The Newmarket's been in trouble for a long time, hasn't it? But there's a big tail to this field.
There is, yeah. There is. I'd say this isn't any better. If not, it might be worse than the Oakley Plate.
Yeah. That's fair.
Well, I look at this race and I'm like, fuck, where's the Newmarket handicap at when Benedetta's a top weight at 111 radar at 57 kilos?
Yeah.
She's my girl, don't get me wrong. But you can have her in this race as a top weight. And when you've got horses like, with all due respect, Buenos Noches at 56 kilos, Growing Empire, who's a 3-year-old colt who hasn't won a Group 1, he's placed. He hasn't won. He's 55.5 kilos.
Yeah.
And from what we saw, like, apparently he's been doing some good work since that first up run, but I couldn't possibly be backing him at $6.50 after what I saw first up.
He does have an absolute alpha in the saddle, though.
He does have Mark.
But surely Mark Zara's not riding at 55.5. He can't.
No.
He wouldn't be able to.
If that's his limit. Like, he'd have to...
He'd be half a kilo.
Yeah.
So he'll essentially, I reckon, have 56 as well, which for a 3-year-old carrying 56 kilos in a handicap, that is tough. Like, we saw Buenos Noches carry 50 in this as a 3-year-old. I reckon we saw In Secret carry 52, I reckon, with Dean Holland in the saddle when Jamie Carr had a fall. Now Jamie Mellon. So 56... essentially, for Growing Empire, who hasn't won a Group 1 yet.
That's my point. That's the quality of this race.
Yeah.
That's the quality of this race. So, it's concerning, absolutely. So I want to start with the favourite, Jolly Star. We're fans of Jolly Star, right? I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, Chris, I'm looking at this race and I think you pulled the wrong rein. Jolly Star should be in the Canterbury Stakes. And Switzerland should be in this. Because Switzerland would have probably, 56.5 kilos. Against this slot? Yeah. Like, probably wins, I'd say. Whereas Jolly Star with 56 kilos here, since she absolutely brained him first up, we're going back to last August, mind you, in the Show County against who? Absolutely brained him.
Our Kobe Sun and Fearson.
Yeah. She's lost to Mumbai Muse and Sunshine in Paris, a good horse, who you said looked like absolute dog shit in the yard that day, by the way. Still beat him. She ran 7th in an Everest. Could say she had a bit of bad luck. 7th in a Golden Eagle. Could say she had a bit of bad luck. And then she's run 3rd and did not look comfortable at all in the Expressway Stakes resuming. So she comes down to the Newmarket, has to lug 56 kilos for a mare, and she starts $4.80. I don't know about... It gives me the ick a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
It gives me the ick. We know the Zoo Stars love the straight. Absolutely love it. But I'm just... She could absolutely win. I don't like it.
I don't know where you're heading then.
I'm hunting value.
Headball.
I'm hunting value.
Espionage.
$14. I saw enough from him in the Oakley Plate where he was racing Super Green with 50 kilos on his back down the straight. He's by Zoostar as well, I think. Yes, he is. Gets gate 11. Like, I'm prepared to have a bet on him. I think Stretton Angel was a bomb resuming. I like her down the straight. And for me, 55.5 kilos, gate 7. I think she can run super. She's $7.50.
6 attempts at the distance for a second and a third.
True. But down the straight, I like her down the straight.
I reckon the straight adds a bit to the distance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think there's just horses just like the straight. And I think she's one of them. Okay. And Mahaba, gate 1. Fuck. He's 56.5 kilos. He wasn't fantastic resuming, but he's $20.
exact same setup for him as he was on Derby Day, I reckon. But if you're looking at him compared to Ray Magnerio, who he beat that day at a very similar price, Ray had 54 kilos that day and Mahaba had 57. So if you're a big Ray fan, I think Mahaba meets him 2.5 kilos better at the weights from that contest. And that was only a few months ago. So, and you're getting, the prices are very similar for that contest. But I'm with you. But I'm with you from like that point of view. I'm keen to be on Jolly Star here.
Yeah.
I think she's the best horse in the race. And I think this is a really thin addition. One horse we didn't talk about, who has put his middle hoof up to us from time to time, is Arkansas Kid.
Yeah, yes.
Any love for him? Surely not. They're talking about Everest for this horse last.
I don't think if he was in this race with 52 kilos, yeah, but he's not. He's got it like 56, and I'd rather have Mahaba at 56.5. Going back to Jolly Star, I absolutely think she can win. Absolutely. I just gives me a little ick vibe, little tiny ick. This wasn't the plan. She was supposed to be in Sydney in the Canterbury Stakes.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my opinion.
Ostraka is another one as well. He ran okay in the Oakley Plate, but wasn't really suited there either. Better barrier here with Jamie Mott in for Neesham and Archibald. So can definitely see him improving as well, but very even Newmarket this year. All right, race 10 is the Matron Stakes, 1,600 metres Group 3 for the mares, setways penalties. Did you back Molly Bloom last start?
Oh,
can't remember.
Let me have a quick look at that race.
Rota Arataki won it from Molly Bloom and Miraval Rose. Maybe you didn't bet in it. That's okay. You don't have to bet in every one. Even I would actually recommend that you don't.
Fancify.
Gotcha.
Ran 6th. This year, it's a tricky little race. I don't know why she's never won at Flemington, but I didn't mind the resumption of Wishlaw Lass last start. Key to her is a good track, and probably not Flemington, but alas, here we are. I thought it was a good enough resumption, so she's $10, and it's probably a bet I'm willing to have, but outside of that, mate, I don't know, steer me into one.
So glamorous for Graham Berg, but gosh, she's a bit of a nonny. She hasn't won in 63 weeks. Only won twice from 13 starts. So that type of race, bit of a tough finish.
Look, I don't want to be a negative Nelly at all.
Don't.
But Super Saturday? Is it Super?
Well, the program's changed significantly since
Used to be Australia Cup as well.
Yeah.
On the Newmarket, on the same day as Newmarket Handicap.
Yeah. Like, you're not having Red Kirk Warrior winning the Newmarket as a top weight anymore, are you?
No, you're not. Zitoria was top weight, I'm pretty sure. Close to it.
Yeah.
He was a funny horse.
Yeah, he was. Early listeners of the show will remember that one of our mates actually tipped it on the podcast. Shout out to you, Matthew Dolab.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you. But yeah, in general, good weekend of racing. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. I cannot wait.
Sydney's heating up big time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Star of the show.
Yeah.
That Canterbury Stakes is the best I've seen for a very long time.
Yeah.
Really good race.
Canterbury Stakes last year, do you remember?
Lady Laguna.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Would have been $2 favourite. Espiona. She can run on a bit. Well, she can run to the breeding barn now.
Yeah. Very valuable by extreme choice.
Now, Drifters, we have to love you and leave you. Now, you are actually going to... Weren't you jetting off again this weekend?
As it stands right now, could be in Melbourne this weekend. Highly unlikely. The flight hasn't been cancelled unless something's changed while I've been talking. But I was supposed to be jetting down Friday, Arvo, and going to the track Saturday, going to the Storm versus Eels on Sunday, Arvi, and coming back early Monday morning. Dead doubt it's going to happen.
Yeah. I saw Mitchell Moses is out of round 1, which means that the Storm's 20-year round 1 record's going to remain.
You would think so. Planet Bronc this Thursday night versus the Roosters down in Sydney.
Aren't the Roosters depleted too?
They are a bit depleted.
Half their side has ACLs, don't they?
Yep.
The amount of pundits I've seen tip the Broncos as premiers this year, I'm like, hang on a second. We have a halfback that's 1,000 years old. And the backup is
1,000 years old.
Yeah, 90.
The difference is though Ben Hunt doesn't really get injured.
Yeah, true.
And that's a fair backup. But look, what I would say is that you've got some firepower. Planet Bronc. I think Madge is the right guy. They'll be fit and firing.
You'd hope so.
But when the whips are cracking, look. I just look at Penrith and I'm like, they could probably just win again. So fucked. So people are looking for angles outside of that. It's like, well, guys, they've won the last 4. They've still got the best player on planet Earth in Nathan Cleary.
Yeah.
And, Isaiah Yeo, Dylan Edwards, they're pretty good.
Yeah. They're very good.
They'll probably win again, I'd suggest.
Wow. 5 in a row. There you go. Well, the Lions are going back to back, so doesn't. Yeah, you can't play footy in a cyclone, though, guys.
No, you can't.
Yeah, 15-goal wind. They were saying. Yeah.
Which changes by the second.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll see you on Sunday. He might be joining on via phone again. Maybe depends. But yeah, if you are at Flemington, mate, just get the phone out.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I will.
All right. See you later.
Drifters.